Welcome back to this Real America's Voice news break. I'm Terrence Bates. Happening right now, President Trump is meeting with the Prime Minister of Norway at the White House. The two are holding a bilateral meeting during which President Trump's reciprocal tariffs are likely being discussed. They're also expected to answer questions from the media here once again in a few hours. We'll, of course, take you there when that happens. Today's meeting comes as the Trump administration says it expects de-escalation in the trade war with China, which remains the only country not getting a temporary reprieve on tariffs. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent weighing in.
There is an opportunity for a big deal here, that the U.S. is looking to rebalance to more manufacturing. The identity of that would be less consumption. If China is serious on less dependence on export-led manufacturing growth and a rebalancing toward a domestic economy, I think they use the term dual circulation. Well, right now it's really singular circulation, and if they want to rebalance, let's do it together. This is an incredible opportunity.
Meantime, President Trump is coming up on his 100th day in office. The White House says he'll celebrate it on Tuesday with a rally in Macomb County, Michigan. The area is just north of Detroit, and it's known as an automotive hub. The rally is going to take place one day before the president's actual 100th day on the job. President Trump has recently engaged in talks with Michigan's Democrat Governor Gretchen Whitmer. You may remember she even appeared with the president in the Oval Office earlier this month. President Trump will return to the state after winning it in the November 5th election and hosting his last campaign rally in Grand Rapids, Michigan, just hours before the polls closed on Election Day. Before heading to Michigan, though, the president is set to embark on the first international trip of his second presidency. That will happen tomorrow when he heads to Rome to attend Pope Francis's funeral. Mourners continue flooding into St. Peter's Basilica to pay their respects to the late Pope. So many people have come that the Vatican decided to keep the doors open all night due to the higher than expected turnout. The Vatican says as of 1 o'clock Wednesday afternoon, more than 61,000 people who visited the Pope had showed up. As you can tell, though, from this live video, that number has increased pretty significantly. Look at all the mourners who are still coming through into the Basilica. Meantime, cardinals are continuing to arrive at the Vatican in advance of Saturday's funeral and the upcoming papal conclave, during which the next pope will be selected. The Vatican says 113 of the expected 133 eligible cardinals have already arrived. 2 cardinals say they won't make it to Rome due to health issues. Well, the issue of peace between Russia and Ukraine could come up this weekend as President Trump and other world leaders flock to the Vatican. The commander-in-chief appears to remain optimistic, though, about the continued possibility for a deal between Russia and Ukraine. Despite saying this week that the U.S. is ready to walk away from the negotiations if a deal isn't reached soon, the president says it could actually happen, and he's working to make it happen. That's a quick check of your headlines. I'm Terrence Bates. Tariffs have thrown the global economy into chaos. Potential widespread inflation tied to massive supply chain disruptions is weighing heavily on all of us. But there is a silver lining that most people have missed. President Trump specifically exempted gold and silver bullion from these sweeping tariffs. While these new policies are triggering significant financial chaos, the administration preserved your ability to diversify into precious metals. If you're concerned about your savings, we really encourage you to have a free consultation with the folks over at the Birch Gold Group and their precious metals specialists. The first step is to text the word America to the number 989898 and receive your free no-obligation information kit on gold. Learn how to hold gold and silver in a tax-sheltered account. The Birch Gold Group will help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a gold IRA for no money out of pocket. So many people buy gold from the Birch Gold Group, so is it finally time that you do the same? With an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and thousands of satisfied customers, simply text the word America to the number 989898 for more information. Again, that's the word America to the number 989898. You can claim your free information kit right now.
All right, welcome to it. It is Free for All Friday. Man, it's good to see you here. It's been a busy week, you know that. Welcome to the Steve Gruber Show. Warning, this program often results in extended periods of American pride, American optimism, and uncontrollable enthusiasm for the future. We're kicking off the live broadcast and Real America's Voice and MTN, reaching a growing global audience. It is the Steve Gruber Show. No panic zone. Just come on in. We're going to have a good time. Here are three big things you need to know this hour. Number one, 60,000 Americans could find themselves without a place to live, according to those criticizing a cut in government assistance. We'll talk about that. Number two, President Trump has canceled a controversial offshore wind project in Maine, has probably saved the right whale from certain extinction by getting it done. Number three, rogue judges. Rogue federal district judges seem to have assumed power that was never theirs to have or to wield, and we better get this under control sooner. We won't have a country to live in. This is not how it's supposed to work. You know it, so do I. It has never been this way until now. The more than 625 federal district judges are supposed to work in their districts. It's a local deal. They do not have the power to issue nationwide injunctions day after day after day to block the executive orders of the President of the United States. Welcome to Free Speech, Free for All Friday, powered by Patriot Mobile's Common Sense Hotline. God, it's good to have you here. 877-310-9966. 877-310-9966, giving you a voice. So speak up and be heard. Again, it's 877-310-9966. Are you ready? Let's do it. Brock will be screening your calls today from the home office in Wisdom, Montana. Remember when Dave Letterman used to do that? Yeah. Let's start with Democrats losing their minds, all right? We're going to start with Frank. He's in North Carolina today. Frank, welcome to Free for All Friday.
Thanks, Steve. Good morning.
What's on your mind? Let's get to it. Frank, what happened? Did we lose Frank? Did Frank go over the edge? All right, hold Frank for a second. We got George in Georgia. We got no time to waste. The phone lines are already stacked up. George, how are you?
Oh, doing fine. Today I just want to give praise. I'm so thankful for you and the RAF TV, Steve Bannon, all y'all my heroes. But today I want to keep it on the light side. I want to praise the women. Tomorrow is Melania's birthday. She's going to go on her birthday over to yonder to a funeral. Now I think that's mighty fine of her. But she's a fine person inside and out, and she reminds me of Ruth Bell Graham, Billy Graham's wife. She raised two children while Billy Graham was preaching, and I hope you would find out who she is if you don't know her, what the wonderful person she was, and the wonderful person that Melania Trump is. And happy birthday to Melania Trump.
Well, very well done, George. Very well done. Thank you for that. They are going over to Rome. I don't know. I was just talking to the folks here. Don't know when Air Force One is headed for Rome, but it will be here for the Pope's funeral, which is tomorrow, scheduled tomorrow. Of course, it's 8 hours ahead in Rome from where it is here right now. So I'm going to assume the President and the First Lady will be on their way sometime soon to make it to Rome. My question, look, another rogue judge was arrested yesterday, if you missed this. In New Mexico, there was a judge that was found to be housing a member of Tren de Aragua in his home. Well, then he resigned. Well, that was not quite enough. Former Doña Ana County, I don't even know how to say the county, folks. I'm going to apologize for you folks in New Mexico. Doña Ana County Magistrate Judge Joel Cano and his wife, Nancy Cano, both arrested yesterday after a raid by the FBI. Well, that's a pretty good start, but it's the district judges that concern me the most, that's for sure. We'll keep an eye on that. Let's go to Bob now. Bob is in New Jersey. Bob, welcome to the program.
Well, hi, Steve. Yes, and the rogue judges was something that I've been calling out and predicted was going to happen against Trump. But does the Supreme Court or the Congress or the Senate or somebody has to speak up against this, occurrence? It's not, doesn't seem to be legal. What can we do about it?
Well, I use this example, and I got a laugh out of my friend John Solomon yesterday when I shared this example. Can you imagine somebody walking into Abraham Lincoln's office and saying, "I'm sorry, Mr. President, but your Emancipation Proclamation has been set aside by a district judge in St. Louis or Baltimore or anywhere for that matter." It doesn't work that way. It was never designed that way, Bob. It was never supposed to be that way, and here we are. And it has to be settled either by Congress or by the Supreme Court. Go ahead.
It's almost like as if you're if you are a CEO of a big company and your legal department comes in, there's a lawyer from San Francisco comes in and you're in New York and he tells you to shut down all your business. And you're the CEO who just called to make a call, and you have your minions shooting you down. It just doesn't make sense.
It makes no sense, Bob. Thank you for the phone call. The Garden State has hope. It has Bob, and that's good news. Let's see. Let's go to Missouri. I like both senators from Missouri, by the way. Perry is in Missouri. How are you? Welcome to the program.
You there, Steve?
I'm here. What's on your mind?
I was just going to say, how in the world can we have all these judges and attorneys and all that stuff? Trump was starting to win with the lawyers. Now the judges turned on him. Now the Supreme Court's turned on him. And, that was supposed to be our backup at the Supreme Court. And now you find they're all
don't give
together.
up on the Supreme Court just yet. They've made some decisions that, make me think that Amy Coney Barrett's a long-term concern. Brett Kavanaugh's concerning, and John Roberts has been concerning for about 20 years now. But don't give up on him yet, because this deal with federal district judges, look, Democrats can sit there and cheer all this all they want. But if they can do it to Donald Trump, they can do it to you. And if they take power that is not theirs, and it is not theirs, by the way, they'll do it next time around. They'll do it to you. So be careful what you wish for. That's what I would say. Perry, we've got to reel this in. By the way, your Senator Schmidt, one of the loudest voices fighting back against this, the former Attorney General of the state of Missouri, good voice, good man. He's going to help get this done, I believe.
Well, it's about time for every state to stand up. Thank you, Steve.
Greatly appreciate you. All right. David is standing up for the state of Alabama. David, welcome to it. What's on your mind?
I'm thinking these tariffs and people bringing a lawsuit to stop the tariffs, and I'm wondering how that's possible.
Well, the lawsuit to say what again?
These people that are suing the federal government to keep President Trump from imposing the tariffs.
Well, the tariffs, that's just one thing, right? And I agree with you on that as well. Look, you may agree or disagree with the tariffs, but it is the president's wheelhouse to do those things. It is his prerogative to consider tariffs as a way to balancing the trade. You don't have to like it, and I understand that a lot of people don't. A lot of people do. It's kind of a mixed bag right now. It depends on what business you're in. If you're getting raw materials from out of the country,
I support 100%.
Yeah, it's a problem. And if you weren't getting raw materials from outside of the country, you might be making a lot of money right now, like the friends of Murphy Door that were here earlier this week. David, I'm tired of all the political activism and the activist judges, that's for sure. That's kind of the theme today. Thank you for calling in. Let's get a voice of reason from the great state of West Virginia. Mabel is in West Virginia. Mabel, I've only got a second here, but I'll hold you through the break. What's on your mind?
Good morning, Steve. I'm tired of the Democrats using our tax money to go to El Salvador. If they want to go there, let them pay it out of their own pocket.
That I agree with, Mabel. I'll leave it there as we head to the break. I think most people agree with that. You want to go there? You want to fight for your own constituents, your own citizens? Well then, by God, buy a ticket. Round trip. Fly first class. I don't care. You pay the freight. We'll be back on the Steve Gruber Show.
Break it.
welcome back to Free for All Friday, powered by the Patriot Mobile Common Sense Hotline. It's 877-310-9966. 877-310-9966. I want to play a little bit of the Democrats losing their minds. Listen to this from a member of Congress. Here it is.
I've been giving out the phone numbers to the House of Representatives and to the Senate. It's one number. That number you call and you threaten them. And you say, this is wrong. This is not America. This is not what we stand for. We need a change.
All right, that's enough of Frederica Wilson of Florida. You call and you threaten those Republicans, really? And that's awfully neighborly of you. Yeah, how kind of you. Let's go to Rich. He's in North Carolina today. Rich, what's on your mind? Rich, are you there?
For having such quality sponsors for your show. A little over a year ago, I was listening to your show, and this young lady, Missy Malone from My Pure Health Solution, came on there talking about frequencies and weight loss and everything, and I had been trying to lose weight, and so I got a hold of Missy, and now, just a little bit a year later, I'm down 140 pounds.
Wow.
I'm off all my diabetes medicine, and life couldn't be better. Missy and the people from My Pure Health Solution have patched me up, and I just want to thank you for having such wonderful sponsors.
Rich, hold on right there. Don't go anywhere for a second. Hold on.
You've got real good sponsors.
Well, I appreciate that. My Pure Health, by the way, folks, if you want to lose 140 pounds, I mean, that's a remarkable thing you've just said there, Rich. And just for the record, we've never met, right? We've never talked before, ever.
Me and you have never met, and I tell Missy to every time she talks to you to thank you for being letting her sponsor your show.
140 pounds, Rich. You've changed your life. I mean, that's transformational.
Listen, my wife weighs 130 pounds. I lost more than my wife.
Wow! Congratulations. And here's what I want to ask you. Had no idea I would get a cool call like this. Rich did My Pure Health Solutions. You can find out more at GruberHealth.com. There's the easy segue, GruberHealth.com. You can go there. You can also find out about LifeWave, by the way, talking about frequencies and stem cells and rejuvenating your life. LifeWave. If you go to GruberHealth.com, click on either one of those. But here's what I want to say to you, Rich. You didn't use Ozempic. You didn't use pharmaceuticals. You didn't use some powerful drugs. You used good old-fashioned advice from Missy and the folks at My Pure Health, correct?
That is correct. The only thing, with full disclosure, my endocrinologist had put me on Ozempic for 2 years, and I didn't lose an ounce, but it destroyed my intestine.
Oh, my Lord.
I had adverse reactions to Ozempic, and when I got a hold of Missy, and Missy said, you got to get off that stuff now. And I did. And through her and the people at My Pure Health Solutions, my life has changed immensely. And she introduced me in February to those stem cell patches. And even after I lost the weight, I was still wheelchair bound because of my bone-on-bone knees and everything. I'm 2 weeks into taking the patches. I am up and moving.
What a remarkable story, Rich. I really appreciate you calling in. I could talk to you longer, but I've got other people waiting. But what a remarkable story from Rich, North Carolina. He's lost 140 pounds. If you want to lose some weight, go to GruberHealth.com. I appreciate the call. I have great partnerships on this program, and I ask people to support them because we get great stories like yours, Rich. God bless you. Thank you. Wow, what a story. From Rich in North Carolina. I have no idea who Rich is. 140 pounds. He lost more than his wife. That's a cool story. Didn't see that one coming. All right, we're going to continue on now. Wayne is in Georgia. Wayne, welcome to it. How are you today?
Hey, Steve. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. What's on your mind, Wayne?
I had I guess a premonition with the Supreme Court justices a few months back. I said, well, they were making these silly decisions and not seeming to realize the importance of them to me. That's my opinion of it. because the repercussions that we're seeing now.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm afraid that they're going to act silly when it comes down to the real decision, Steve, when we've got to get 10 million illegals out of our country.
I'm going to disagree with you only a little bit, Wayne. I believe that I'm going to believe that the judges, the federal district judges, are clearly activists. But Antonin Scalia made this point a long time ago. He's been dead for a number of years, and of course, he made the point. He said bad laws create bad legal decisions because it's not their job to decide whether it's going to be good or bad or right or wrong. Their job is to look at the words on the page and say, is this constitutional? Is this proper? Is this within the framework of the law? That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's their job.
Well, I just hope that they can do that, Steve.
I hope you're right as well. I mean, I trust me. We've talked about it here, Wayne. I am concerned about the impartiality of the judiciary. I'm concerned about the future of the country. It does hang in the balance, and I'm concerned about people like Amy Coney Barrett who scare the daylights out of me. Wayne, great call. Greatly appreciate you being here.
Recently, Gorsuch is kind of weaving and wobbling.
They all do.
We know that
except two.
Roberts is full blown gone.
Yeah, well, there's only two that, Thomas and Alito are the only two you can trust on any given day every time. All right, Wayne, thank you for the call. Greatly appreciate it. Andrew is in Indiana today. Andrew, welcome to it.
Hello. Yes, sir. Thank you, Steve. Good morning. My concern is I noticed that before Trump took office this year, Biden administration was just funneling a ton of judges to the bench. What's going to happen when the 200, almost 300 judges start, ordering TROs or, filing claims against the Trump administration on top of what we're already dealing with now?
Well, Chuck Schumer said, he made a point. They put in hundreds of judges to stop the Trump agenda. Not to do the right thing, not to do their job, not to be impartial, to stop the Trump agenda. That's what Chuck Schumer said. Well, that's what they're doing.
Also,
it's sad. I really appreciate it. I'm up against the break, my friend. I got to run. 877-310-9966. You're next. I'll call for it, of course. All right, great to have you here. I was in Washington for a couple of days this week, as you probably know, having an opportunity to speak with several members of the administration. Paula White, fascinating. She's the pastor for Donald Trump for the last 25 years. Fascinating and incredible, without question. All right, so... The Patriot Mobile Common Sense hotline is 877-310-9966, 877-310-9966. Anywhere in America, you can call in and speak up and be heard. And the reason I mentioned Paula White there is that I had some folks call and say, hey, can we get that interview? We'd like to hear it again. You can find it on X. You can find it on my YouTube channel. You can find it on Rumble. You can find it all over the place. If you want any of that's true of any of the interviews you hear here. You can go to Podbean. You can listen to anything of the Steve Gruber Show going back for 10 years. All the interviews with Donald Trump or Robert F. Kennedy Jr. or Rich from North Carolina down 140 pounds. I mean, was that a remarkable phone call? Was that not a remarkable phone call? To me, it was really incredible. So Here's something I want to play for you. I thought that this was over. These protests on college campuses where all of these, I don't know, anti-Semitic people get together to scream about Israel and so forth, but it's not. Here's a little taste from yesterday. CUNY. Listen. And they took over the entire campus, and they were declaring parts of the campus Jewish free zones. Jewish free zones. Look, it's pretty insane. Get on the line, 877-310-9966. We'll start taking your calls again after the break here, 877-310-9966. It's the Patriot Mobile Common Sense Hotline, serving all of America, as I do. I serve you, America. To talk about what's on your mind, 877-310-9966. We have a couple of open lines. Now is a great time to call and get your voice heard. We'll be right back. right, it's a free-for-all, free speech Friday, powered by the Patriot Mobile Common Sense Hotline. We go back to it now. Jennifer is on the line from Michigan. Jennifer, welcome back to it.
Good morning, Steve, and thank you for giving us an outlet to our frustration.
Yep.
You're one in a million, kiddo. I have the solution to the Supreme Court. Let's take John Roberts' address and Comey Barrett's address and send all the illegals there, because these are their protectors. Let them converge at their house and see then what they consider their rights. It was my opinion, just my opinion, of course, that since they're not as citizens of the United States, they're not entitled to any of our privileges, which would be a court hearing. I am so angry, I am going to explode. The other thing is they can take Harvard and dump it, too. I am... At 93, I'm going to explode.
Please don't.
That's about all I can say.
We enjoy you too much,
Jennifer. I'm so
Jennifer.
angry over the stupidity of the people that the taxpayers are paying a humongous salary to, that are violating our rights. Thank you so much.
Jennifer,
Bye-bye.
God bless you. Thank you so much. That's a question I had. She raised a point that I've asked here on the program, and that is, look, if you're in the country illegally, do you have to commit an additional crime to get thrown out, to have due process? If you're in the country illegally, isn't that by definition reason for you to be removed? The answer, of course, it is. And if you get a deportation order from any agency, then you've had due process, in my estimation. James is in the state of New York. James, welcome to it. What's on your mind?
Hi, good morning, Steve. I'm a big fan of justice and truth and honesty, and so I'm a big fan of yours.
Thank you.
But they have us torn in so many different directions that myself, and I feel like everybody, we can't focus on one thing because we see so many common sense things not being accomplished. For instance, there is now one new fentanyl law. I've seen all sorts of people die from it. We're all against it, supposedly, and yet nobody has brought up a new law, to stop the import of it.
Right. It's poison.
My question is, I've seen this merry-go-round for 25 years, and we're 4 months into this new administration, and it seems like it's all happening again. A lot of investigations, a lot of finger-pointing, and everybody loves it because we know it's common sense if these people have broken the law.
Yeah.
At what point do we start getting frustrated?
Well, that's a great question, James, and I appreciate it. It's been 100 days, you're right, and what we get is a lot of lip service, a lot of conversation, a lot of strongly worded tweets, which mean nothing because they don't get anything done. It's time for action. It's time for this one big, beautiful bill to get done. Of course, they've been on recess this week. Not making people happy, that's for sure. Time for the House Republicans and Speaker Mike Johnson. Do your damn job. Move the bills. Get it done. Because if you don't codify all of these things that Donald Trump has done by executive order, none of it means anything. In 3.5 years, none of it will mean anything. We'll be back to zero, and the Democrats will start destroying this country full speed ahead again. Do your damn job. I agree. Susan is in Tennessee. Susan, welcome to it. What's on your mind?
Well, I wanted to just specifically state that we need to educate our country about civics and what the laws represent and how they represent. The Supreme Court does not make law, they interpret law, and that is their only function. Any of the judges, district or otherwise, are also to interpret law, not orchestrate or create.
That's right.
Basically, they are overrunning the constitutional foundation that we have, and we have got to educate everybody. The mass media is not sharing that bit of information with any of our public, and there's at least 2 generations that have never been exposed to civics.
No, exactly true, Susan. Greatly appreciate your phone call. And that's why the Democrats keep running around. It's a threat to democracy, our democracy. We live in a republic. Stop using the term democracy. Stop. Full stop right now. It's a representative republic. The people that created this country and created the Constitution were vehemently opposed to democracies because they always fail. Words matter. It's a republic. Say it. It's a republic. That's the civics we start with today. Mark is in Illinois. Mark, what is on your mind today, Mark?
Yes, sir, about these so-called district judges.
Yep.
Why haven't they cited any specific law, statute, U.S. code that the Trump administration is supposedly violating?
Because they can't.
The Trump administration should say, yeah, so why doesn't the Trump administration say, yes, under this law, we can do what we're doing, so screw you, district judge. And I'm got kind of like Tom Fitton, too. I'm getting pissed. I haven't seen any perp walks, no arrests, no nothing.
Well, we finally saw one get arrested. We finally saw the judge and his wife get arrested yesterday in New Mexico after an FBI raid, but he was housing Trende Aragua right in his home. I mean, is that what it takes? You got to have the gangbangers right in your home for people to get arrested? I don't know. I agree with you, Mark. We're angry. We need results, and we need them now. Thank you for the call. We're going to go to the great blue state of Massachusetts. Appreciate a call. Arthur, what's on your mind today, Arthur? What do you want to know?
Steve.
Good morning.
Now, basically, Steve, it's time for President Trump to stand up and say to all those district judges, I do not recognize your authority. You have no standing.
I agree with that. They don't have standing. That's the point. You would never have had a republic. This country wouldn't exist if the founders had been told, oh, by the way, you can have a district judge stand up and nullify. Can you imagine them standing up and nullifying the Civil Rights Act of 1957, Eisenhower Civil Rights Act? We don't recognize it. What if they stood up to Richard Nixon and said, your executive order to create the Environmental Protection Agency? Yeah, we nullify that. Because that was an executive order. The list goes on and on, Arthur. You're exactly right. And it's maddening. Thank you. Mary, a voice of reason from Florida. Mary, what do you got?
Hi. Good morning, Steve. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
Today's show is awesome with all the comments. My question is about Truth Social. I'm hoping that you can answer, where is Truth Social? At the end of an interview, I'm not hearing that people are using Truth Social.
I'm on Truth. I'm there for you. In fact, we're about to really put some resources into it. So if you want to follow me on Truth Social, please do. I look for all this. Look, I need support on Instagram, on X, Facebook. We're live on YouTube every day. We're live on X every day. We're live on Rumble every day. All 3 hours. You don't have to miss anything. As we move through the day here, all the headlines, all the information, everything you need. Thank you for bringing that. I really appreciate that. Now, I've got Gene and Bob and other folks ready to go. Or is it Rob? Whichever. But first, we're going to check in with Nick Hopwood and find out how our investments are doing. We're going to check on the markets right after the break here on the Steve Gruber Show. to it now. Keeping one eye on the markets. We're trying to figure out where we're dialing Nick Hopwood. Put that together for you here in just one moment. As soon as he's ready, we'll get right to it. But first, we're going to go to Gene in Texas. Gene, welcome to Free for All Friday. What's on your mind?
Thank you. We need action. We need action. The rhetoric, the interest, is worthless. Get off your butt. You need action, and you need to start taking people to jail. End of paragraph. You break the law, you go to jail. Period.
That's the way it's got to be. I agree with you 100%, Gene. Greatly appreciate that. Look, if you do the crime, you do the time. I don't care if you're a judge like the guy in New Mexico just arrested, whoever it might be. That's the way it's going to be. I do believe Nick Hopwood, certified financial planner and the founder of Peak Wealth, is on the line with me now. Nick, good morning. No. All right. Seem to be having a technical issue there. I thought we had him. We do not. We'll stay with the phone lines until we figure that out. That's the way it is. Sometimes, in my broadcast, a lot of it's just, navigating. Oftentimes, it's navigating. Rob is in New Jersey. Rob, welcome to it on a Free for All Friday.
Hey, good morning, Steve. So I'm going to say something pretty controversial.
All right, then.
So I was born in the 60s. I grew up watching the country pretty much implode. I'm ex-military, so I've seen it all. I think the biggest problem we have right now is we have a reluctance to prosecute the guilty. We don't want to go after them. We don't want to put them in jail because it's fear of reprisal by those who have more money. So nobody wants to get X out. So everybody's going to look the other way. Our Congress is nothing more than a big old mafia. That's all it is.
They're in there for the money. It's a money laundering operation, that's for sure. Go on.
Well, they could care less about doing what's right by the people. And the only way it changes, and I know this is the controversy, we need a violent and bloody second revolution.
Well,
nobody wants to hear that, but we are not going to get relief from the courts. Our elections are corrupt. We have no faith in the media. Where else do we go? How is the people who are being born today, how are they going to make it? I'm struggling, and I'm in my own business. My 2 kids are in their 30s. They can't even afford a home in New Jersey. This is the most corrupt state in the country. We've got real problems.
Well, you've got... I appreciate the call, Rob. And you're not the only person that said that. Thomas Jefferson said that, of course. Controversial? Yeah, maybe. That doesn't mean you're necessarily wrong about it. I would hope that didn't happen. I would hope that doesn't become the end result. For your children, for mine, for our grandkids, I would hope that's not how we end up finishing this thing. But the country has been in decline since the 1960s. I believe there's a lot of truth to that. And this managed decline is something that people talk about, and I think is completely unacceptable. Yeah, Donald Trump, when he comes in and says, look, we need to fix this. We need to fix, for example, the tariffs. Rand Paul has come out and said he's introducing a measure so that having tariffs and taking tariffs off would be taken out of the hand of the executive and put into the hand of Congress, which means nothing would ever happen because Congress would never agree on any damn thing. And I like Rand Paul on a number of days, but I don't like that idea. Tariffs are things that have to happen quickly. Put them on, take them off, exact change, make things happen. Anyhow, let's go to Joe in Texas. How's Texas this morning?
Hi, Steve. Thank you. Thank you for being there. It's wonderful to hear you. I'll leave you on 24/7 on this channel. But
you.
Steve, I'm so upset because Abbott, which I love, I don't know what's going on him in Paxton, why those Sharia law people can buy property in Garland, so many acres, to take Texas over. Now I feel like I have to hurry and move. Is there any way to get a different governor in here?
Well, I can't fix that for you, of course. That's out of my hands. And I was just talking to a guy from Texas who loves the governor in Texas. So, that's the problem. Some people love the governor. Some people don't love the governor. Is that what you're talking about, right?
Well, no, I really like him, but I don't know how he could have let these Syria or these Muslims come in and buy up our land, and they'll try to take us over. I don't understand how that happened.
Well, Joe, I appreciate your phone call. There are several places in Texas, if you're missing this, where communities have been created. Some by illegal aliens, some by religious sects that want to set up their own everything, frankly, in big pieces of Texas. And it's a fair question. How does that happen? How does anybody allow that to go on? Because I would suggest if you have 50,000 people living in a community and they're primarily all illegal aliens, yes, that would be a cancer upon all of it. Robert in Wisconsin is next here on the program. Robert, welcome to it.
Good morning, Steve. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Go with it, please.
All right. Finally, we got it together there. All right. Of the people, for the people, by the people, life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness through Jesus Christ, the way, the truth, and the life. We got to start out correctly, okay?
Fair enough.
All right. Now, last time around, I asked you whether or not you knew your mother was a conception vessel via our Governor Evers within Wisconsin, and this is what he did. Hot off the presses here, I just got my new mortgage payment, and it went up. My monthly mortgage payment went up 23%.
Of course it did.
Take your mortgage payment or mortgage or anybody and make it go up 23% for the rest of your life. Try it once, okay?
Can't do it. Can't survive.
Let's see where that all
You're almost
goes.
out of time. You got to get to it. Last point.
My taxes here for that, the reason for that is my local taxes went up 17.5%.
Wow, that's ridiculous.
I was wondering if anybody else had this problem in Wisconsin. Well, the news had a little bit of that going. Okay,
all right, Robert,
I'm sorry,
there.
and I'll let you speak a little bit if you let me speak after you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Robert, for calling. We're up against it. back to it now. We try to get as many voices in as we can here on the Patriot Mobile Common Sense Hotline. It's 877-310-9966. We do it most Fridays, not all Fridays, but most Fridays we'll take the phone calls because it's interesting to hear what people are saying from all over the country. And we get a cross-section of America, I suppose. Sometimes the world, we get people calling from outside the United States as well. Pete is in Tennessee. Pete, what is on your mind in the volunteer state?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Hello. All right. What I'm calling for is everybody listening, and I wish you would tell all your viewers for the next month. Any young person you know that owes them student debts, even the ones that turned out okay because their mama and daddy and they got jobs working, they made them take all kind of classes they did not want to take.
Sure did.
Tell them they need to all get together and sue those universities. Do one of them giant class action lawsuits.
I've got a thought on that, Pete. Here's what I think. Thank you for the great call because you're right. I think that the universities should all be co-signers on the loans. And if 5 years down the line that university degree hasn't turned into a job and they haven't been able to pay off their student loans, that the university that sold you that degree, that sold you that piece of paper, that they are the co-signers and therefore they have to cover the bill. How about that? How about you have co-signers that are the people that are providing you the product? How about that for an idea? Pam is in Ohio. Pam, last caller of this hour. What do you got?
Yeah, I had a question about how much are they paying to file all these injunctions against Trump's administration?
Piles of money.
And what's the filing fee?
Yeah, piles of money.
I'm sorry?
Lots of money. I mean, you go into the court, it costs money.
But where does it go?
It's a good question.
Yeah, but who are these people?
Well, you know who they are. They're the usual suspects. It's Act Blue. It's Soros. It's the DNC. It's the sock puppets inside the swamp. It's all those people. It's a good question, though, Pam. We should find out a little bit closer.
Where does the money go once they... But do they ever see the money actually going into the court systems?
No,
or is it
just gets gobbled up. Yeah, who knows where it goes? They can't keep track of money in the rest of the government. All right, Free for All Friday will continue after the top of the hour. I'll get to all the calls, Todd and Steve and James and all of you.